Hello my fellow golf ball addicts, welcome back to the channel. We are testing another club review today, and it is a wedge review. We have the Cleveland RTX Full Face 2. Did I get a really good steal on this, or is there a reason it was priced, so low that it was? Let's find out. Guys, as always, if you love this content, please like, comment, subscribe, all the free stuff. It really helps the channel out a ton. We also have a membership that just starts at $1 a month if you want to support it further. I usually do golf balls, but I've been dabbling in clubs lately and it's been kind of fun. So hopefully you stick around. All right, so when I said I got a good deal on it, the reality is these clubs were $100 a piece. I actually got two wedges. I got a 58 degree, I got a 54 degree, and these are currently on clearance closeout from a bunch of different major outlets. And my fellow golf ball addicts know that I actually am in the market for new wedges because I ended up having to get rid of the ones I had because of the last review. Anyway, I won't get into that. But long story short, I needed new wedges. I got them, and I really went back and forth on these because I just didn't know. The price was too good. I went and looked at some reviews. A lot of people really didn't like them. Some people did, but a lot of people really had a lot of negative things to say, and I was just kind of back and forth. For example, a lot of the negative reviews I saw, they really didn't like the look a lot. I guess the open toe really turned a lot of people off. The sound wasn't what a lot of professional reviewers really wanted to hear. I'm not usually into that kind of stuff, but when you test golf clubs for a living, of course, you're going to pay attention to that kind of thing. But they didn't like that. And then also accuracy and dispersion, there were some issues with. But one thing that everyone agreed on is that this thing spins a ton. That was what really drew me to it. I looked at my Golf Spy, best wedges 2023, and although the accuracy and dispersion wasn't great with this one, as you can see, it ranked second in spin. So I was really glad to see that, and I'm going to test that, and hopefully I can get some really good spin out of it. So without further ado, let's go ahead and just take a look at this bad boy real quick. If we look at the top here, as you can see, it's a brushed metal look. I actually really think the back of it looks really sexy. It's sleek. It has a really nice shine to it. Now, obviously, anything right out of the package is going to look good, of course, right? But this one just has this really unique look. Cleveland has a reputation of making some really good-looking wedges with a lot of spin. So this is great. I have really fallen in love with the full face design that a lot of clubs have been doing lately. And, even my club that we're going to be testing this up against is full face, and I've absolutely loved it. So as you can see there, it looks great. It has a lot of really deep grooves there to get some spin. Then if we come over here on the side, it just says zip core. Now as far as the shaft, this is going to come with a standard dynamic gold spinner shaft. Now this is a proprietary shaft that Cleveland pretty much uses for its wedges. I think it's around 120 grams, so it is on the heavier side, but it's going to be your stiff shaft that comes with the wedges, and obviously they do it a little heavier because they want it to have a little bit tighter accuracy and dispersion. Now the shaft that I have in my other wedge that I use for testing golf balls is an 85, so I mean it's way lighter. I'm probably going to notice a huge difference, but again, we'll see if that accuracy and dispersion is a major difference in between the two based on that. I would expect it to be, but as far as the grip goes, it comes with a Lambkin Crossline 360, which is the most basic of basic. It comes on a lot of clubs. It gets the job done, but I think most people are going to want to upgrade that for sure. I mean, I can already feel it, and it's not that tacky. It's not that sticky. These originally MSRP'd at $180. If I had paid $180, I'd probably expect a little bit better of a grip, but when you get them for under $100 a pop, whatever, I'll go put a grip on them. So what we're going to do to test these is I'm going to do the 50-yard pitch test. I do this test when I review every single golf ball, and like I said, I have been using this one right here. This is the Adams Idea wedge. I love this thing. It is a big sleeper pick for me. It's got a full face on it. It has been awesome. I've really fallen in love with it for testing, and I mean, this thing MSRP'd at like $100, and I think I got it for 80. So you're talking about a value club compared to something that's supposed to be tour issue and supposed to be top of the line. So I do expect this to be better, but still, this is a good club. Don't sleep on this thing. Also, to do the testing, we are going to use the Pro V1X from 2025. The reason for that is because it is currently the leader in golf ball spin. It actually has the most spin on the 50-yard pitch that I've tested this year. Really good performance, and so I'm going to go ahead and just use it, and why not? I mean, I know it's great, so we'll use that for both of these, and then I have a FlightScope Mevo Plus launch monitor that is going to be doing the calculating for us. So now, real quick, as far as expectations, I'm not going to put any heavy, unrealistic expectations on this, but what I will say is this: I do expect it to spin more. I think that's a given, right? I mean, every outlet I saw, it was like top 3 in spin. Everyone said it was one of the most spinningest wedges they'd ever seen. And then again, I'm using an Adams Idea budget club, right? Still great, not to down it, but I would expect this to at least spin better. Know what I mean? So let's get out there and let's do some testing. All right, gonna start with the Cleveland, and I can already tell it's heavier. I mean, you can definitely tell it's got some weight to it, not like that other one. That one's more of a beginner, you know, brand new to golf, you know, trying to get the ball high up in the air club, if you know what I mean. And don't get me wrong, it's great, but there's a huge difference in the weighting for sure. You know, this definitely feels like it's a more tour issue. Whew, yeah, definitely a little heavier than I'm used to, but that'll build up the old muscles. I'll tell you what, I know I said it, but the weight difference is just insane. I feel like I have an axe in my hand compared to like having just a stick. You know what I mean? It's a huge difference. Oh, that was good. That one felt good. Lots of spin, not bad. Hey, look out, I'm not trying to hit you. Hey, look out, I'm not trying to hit you, babies.
When you're ready.
So one thing I don't like is I'm already noticing the ball is starting to get some serious rips. Now granted, this is a brand new face, I get it, you know, this is the nicest the face is ever gonna be, and so maybe that has something to do with it. But I mean, there's already a bunch of tears. I mean, little tears all over, a little disappointed. I mean, don't get me wrong, the spin's not been bad, it's been pretty good, but it's still disappointing. Another thing is there's a lot of tour level feedback here. When you hit it pure, it really does glide and it has kind of a butter feel in your hands. When you mishit it, you know, it's not as good of a feel. So it definitely has some responsiveness. You know, I'm almost through the entire Cleveland testing now. In fact, I have 2 left. Boy, this golf ball is toast. I mean, and that's not against the Pro V1X. I've already done a review on it and it had fine durability. It was good. I mean, but this is now torched, and I mean, I guess I'm gonna have to hit a bunch of warm-up shots to get this thing not to destroy every golf ball I have. You know, I mean, I get that it's a new wedge, but geez. So that was 20. I'm gonna take away 5 of the worst ones, and that way we have the 15 best. Now I'm gonna go ahead and do the Adams Idea and run through it. This thing feels so much lighter in my hands. It's insane. Okay, so just real quick, after hitting those shots, you know, my main takeaway is when it comes to pure feel, like as far as when you pure one, I actually like the Adams a little bit better. It has a fantastic, just beautiful feel when you pure one. Now, when it comes to mishit feel, I do like the Cleveland a little better. Cleveland offers you some really good tour level feedback without really being like, hey, you know, dummy, you messed up. Whereas I feel like, you know, with the Adams Idea, it's kind of like that. If you mess up, it's kind of like, it's not Gordon Ramsay level of screaming at you in the kitchen, but it's like, hey, dummy, what are you doing, you know? So I did like Cleveland a little bit better on mishits, but when it came to the pure hits, I still like the Adams Idea. The other thing is, I want to show you this again. This is what I showed you earlier. This is the golf ball after I was done. I mean, this thing is destroyed. And I know I hit 40 wedge shots, I get that, but still, like, none of these were caused by the Adams Idea. None of them. Like, I tested this golf ball and did 20 shots, or I guess it's 15, with the regular review of the Pro V1X. I just did this a couple weeks ago, and I mean, there was hardly any scratches at all, let alone rips and tears. So the fact that that is a new wedge, keep that in mind. Anytime you ever buy a new wedge, you're probably going to want to hit like range balls or junk balls just for a little bit to get the face to where it's not so new and raw, if you know what I mean. But hey, maybe there is a way you can also do that maybe you guys know, a life hack or something. If you know, comments, that'd be great. But I mean, this thing is just mangled. I don't even think I'd put it in the shag bag at this point. All right, anyway, without further ado, let's get to the numbers now. I'm going to go to the computer, I'm going to show you the side-by-side comparison, and we're also going to show you the dispersion charts as well. Okay, so if we look at the two wedge test, let's start as far as your carry, your total distance, your swing speed, even ball speed. Look at that. Everything is pretty much spot on, so that's good. Our controlled variables are pretty close there, and that's how I kind of want to have them, so I'm happy with that. Once we get to the launch angle, as you can see, actually very close. The Adams Idea launched just a little bit higher, but for the most part, they have kind of a mid ball flight, a lower mid. I've seen some that are high, that are in like the 34, 35 range, but I've also seen some that are around 27, 26. That's a really low launch, so it's around that mid low, you know what I mean? Now, looking at the spin, that's obviously what we're here for, and in my head, I'm trying to find a way to make it not be disappointing, but again, the one thing I wanted out of this Cleveland club, the one thing was it was supposed to be higher spin. And I mean, we're talking about only 150 RPM difference. So, I mean, they're both great. They're both going to stop. They both have a little bit of rip back, but I'm just still disappointed. And the other thing to keep in mind, right? The Adams Idea wedge I have been testing for now, 3 or 4 months, golf balls, and I've done, almost 40 golf balls testing with it. That means we're talking roughly about 600, 700 shots minimum with the Adams Idea. That means the face, I do clean the face, but I haven't sharpened the grooves or anything. So we're talking about this club's been used. It's going to lose a little bit of spin. The Cleveland was brand spanking new. It had that clean face. All the grooves are clean. It's never going to get better than that. And it still couldn't beat the Adams Idea. And so that's a little disappointing for sure. Let's go ahead and get into the dispersion now here. Okay, so on the top, we have the Adams Idea, and on the bottom, we have the Cleveland. Now, look, these are very, very close. There's one really bad mishit on both of them, but what I really notice about this here is if we look at the very center of the circle, okay? The very center of the circle, when it comes to the Cleveland, I've got a lot tighter dispersion there. Maybe not a lot, that's definitely not the right word, but look right there in the middle. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, I would call it. 9 all in this little tiny circle that if I was flag hunting, that would be legit. Now, if we go up to the Adams Idea, we draw a little circle again, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 maybe, if we're being generous. It could be 5 or 6, so there's a little bit of a difference there. Now, both of these clubs show great dispersion, and they show great accuracy. I like the distance control as well. They're actually very close, but I will give the advantage to Cleveland, which is nice to see because, again, I was expecting the spin, so the fact that it didn't get the spin like I'd hoped it would, but it did get dispersion. It's kind of a complete flop, but that's good. I like to see that, so it doesn't mean that this club's completely a wash. I am actually getting some benefit to the performance here. But yeah, very close, and both of them are really good. And honestly, any player who gets a dispersion chart like that, you're going to be on the green and you're going to be putting for birdie. That's awesome. So in conclusion, it's tough, right? Because both are decent performing clubs. I mean, I don't have an issue with over 8,000 RPM spin, and I don't have an issue with 82. I mean, I got 200 more with the Adams Idea. I get that. I think my main thing is just keep in mind when you're an average golfer, you're a weekend warrior, whatever, sometimes we do get a little too much tunnel vision when we're looking at clubs and we're looking at all these different reviews and, oh, this one has this and this one has that. Remember, clubs are going to be different for the individual, and you just got to find out what you need most in your game and just go with it based on an educated guess. You know what I mean? And also testing is really important, going somewhere where you can hit them beforehand. All in all, I get it. A lot of that sounds great on paper, but my thing is that do I feel like I got scammed? No, it's a good club. It's a good club. If I paid $180 for it, I'd feel a little cheated. I mean, I would. If I paid that type of money, it just doesn't have anything that makes my eyes pop out. I can see why it was clearanced out. Now, don't get me wrong. I do like certain things about it. The look is great. It does have some decently consistent spin. The dispersion chart was really good. I like that. But I do think that when everyone on the internet tells me it's the most spin, and then here comes a Adams Idea $80 wedge retail and smokes it, you know what I mean? Like, it's one of those things, like, I'm not saying everyone on the internet's wrong. I'm just saying that everyone's different. Everyone's going to get those different results. And yeah, that was kind of the one thing I expected the Cleveland to do. I got it knowing that it wasn't going to have the greatest dispersion, but it had spin. Instead, it has pretty good dispersion, actually. I like it a lot. It's actually going to help my wedge game a little, but it actually doesn't have as much spin. Interesting. You know what I mean? So there's a lot to process there, but all in all, it was such a good deal. I just couldn't pass up on it. And sometimes that's what it comes about too. You know, if you're a guy who's on a budget constraint, kind of like I am, value matters. And although these clubs aren't going to win any awards and they're not going to help me make the tour, getting them for $100 each and plus that coupon taking, I think, like 20 bucks off or something. So under $100 each, you can't beat it. It's a great wedge. It'll last me a few years. I like that. So that's really what's important to me. Guys, as always, keep watching, keep saving, keep learning. Until next time.